How's it going, folks? So today I'm going to be checking out a band called Obsidion, and the name of this song is Delirion. I believe this is only the band's second single that they've ever released, their second song. And I had listened to this band off channel, the first single they released some months back, and I was impressed by it. And so I knew that when they released their second song that I wanted to do a reaction to it. So that's where we find ourselves here. I'm excited to hear this bad boy. So without further ado, let's give it a listen, shall we? Rangers, go.
I'm trapped in the sweet trance inside my head. Too far gone to break the spell, paralyzed, drowning. I am my savior or a ghost, until your love tied me up. A false god that made me fade deep into the land. You push me underwater,
Well, first and foremost, that final like whole scream thing was just awesome. That was so awesome. I mean, it started out really high, but then it even gets like louder and higher there at the end. That was just sick. I really, really enjoyed that. The heck of a way to end the song there. Now, it's a very interesting song. There's a lot of potential here. And when everything worked well, it worked incredibly well. When everything really kind of came together in certain moments, it was awesome. It was awesome. But then I feel like certain other parts of the song just meandered a little bit too long, or didn't fully capitalize on everything that they have at their disposal, and everything that they're fully capable of. So I guess first, the things that worked really well. I thought the symphonic elements were done very, very well, and mainly sorry, I was like stumbling over my words. I'm trying to figure out like how I'm trying to want to say this and stuff. I think it was like the first half of the verses where you have like the symphonic elements. You kind of have this like dark kind of heavy vibe going, like the guitars are pretty heavy, and these heavy riffs and stuff, while she's singing in a relatively aggressive sort of manner. I mean, not like super aggressive, but there's an edge to how the lines are delivered and stuff. And then you have the symphonic elements almost kind of building and then like impacting, here and there as it goes, and it just makes this really, really awesome, atmosphere and vibe for the song. It just makes it feel impactful, orchestral, heavy with the guitars, and with her voice, and it just, that's to me when everything just worked brilliantly. I love that. Again, that kind of orchestral sort of slight buildup, and then that kind of impact, and then it's staying heavy and stuff, and then you get that kind of orchestral impact again. Just tight, and I think that was kind of like the first half of the verses, because after the first chorus, they kind of did that again for like the first half of the verse or whatnot. But then the second half of the verse, like all that's kind of absent. And then even in the chorus, like that is kind of absent again. Like you can still hear like the symphonic elements in the background, but it's lacking that oomph that made the sections where it had that so kind of stand out. And so it just makes the rest of it just feel almost empty a little bit, just because it's just not there anymore. And granted, of course, it can't be like overdone or anything, but perhaps it could have been worked to where it had a little bit more of a presence throughout the song, in different spots, instead of just all of it kind of being there in the first half of the verses and then kind of absent everywhere else. And I'm not saying the symphonic elements are absent, because again, I mean, you hear it like in the chorus and stuff like that, but it's more of just kind of a backing, sweeping kind of sound, instead of that kind of impactful, sort of presence or whatnot. So, I don't know if like maybe, I mean, it's kind of cool how it's there for like the first half of the verses, and then so maybe, in the second half of the verses, I get that they tone it back a little bit, but maybe there could have been a slight more of a presence of that orchestral symphonic stuff, and then the chorus really kind of take it to a grandiose sort of sound, not necessarily as impactful, but just more present, and really have the chorus soar, because as it is, the vocal melody is very interesting, because the vocal melody is as a whole, it's somewhat linear, across the verses and the chorus and everything. Even though she's doing a lot with her voice, like there is a lot of movement in there with her voice, but it's all kind of within like this certain kind of confine here, and it stays that way, for the most part, all the way through, to where going from like the verses into the chorus and all that stuff, again, even though she's doing quite a bit, with how she delivers the lines and stuff, it's just makes it feel like it's all kind of just one thing, one even thing all the way across. And that's why I say it's relatively linear. So in the chorus, I feel like instead of sticking to a sort of similar kind of vibe or style is the verses, the song could really just kind of explode and just, again, the orchestral stuff just really kind of soar into a grandiose sort of feel, and the chorus kind of follow suit and just change a little bit of that kind of melody to differentiate itself from the verses, so that it doesn't just all feel relatively linear. I'm having a hard time kind of trying to explain, I guess, what I mean, but hopefully y'all kind of understand what I'm talking about. But anywho, so I really like the symphonic elements. I think it could have done a bit more, like especially in the chorus, to kind of keep that strength of the symphonic elements, woven all the way throughout, instead of really making an impact in this one small section and then kind of fading to the back for the rest. The guitar work, again, I really like the guitar work there in that section where there's the impact and there's like a kind of a dark sort of vibe to the song, and the heaviness of the guitars. But then after that section, again, the guitars even just kind of drop back and just kind of have like a relatively basic, just kind of rhythmic sort of riff. But again, it just kind of falls to the back. So you lose that heaviness. You lose that impact from really everything. And so then you just kind of get the verses that almost feel like they're slightly bare bones because of how impactful the first part is. And then even the chorus, it just doesn't do much to really capitalize on everything else. So it leaves a lot of the song feeling slightly empty. And so I think that it could have been kept up a bit more throughout the whole song so that you don't get that feeling. But yeah, for the most part, I thought the guitars had some cool stuff in there. It's just, it maybe could have done a bit more throughout the whole song, instead of certain spots really shining. And yeah, I mean, the musicianship was solid. The vocal, she's got a very interesting voice, and I think it's really cool how much that she kind of plays with the melody and her delivery and stuff like that. But one thing I will say about that too is because the verses and the chorus and all that stuff, it has a relatively similar sort of style. It gets to the point where it almost feels like a little bit much, like particularly in the chorus. I really feel like one of the main things to maybe focus on is the chorus being, adjusted a little bit to really kind of enhance the song, even more. Like, again, how I mentioned before, musically, but even vocally, like the vocal melody there in the chorus, maybe it's because it sounds relatively similar to like the verses and stuff, but it almost gets to the point to where it's a little bit too much little movements in there with the voice, instead of having more of a streamlined sort of melody in the chorus to differentiate itself from the verses. I'm not sure, but yeah, the chorus just never fully lands, melody wise and whatnot. So I think that could be tweaked a bit, and that's really like the main thing. So overall, there's a lot of potential here. I like what I hear, and particularly in those moments where everything really works together just right and really has that impact, that heaviness, that cool style to it, music, and then even with her kind of unique sort of voice and vocal delivery style, it just really works when all that comes together. And I just wish that sort of thing could have been utilized better throughout the whole song to again make the whole song feel as impactful as those moments. But being that, I mean, this is their second song, and so they have a lot of talent here. They have a cool sound, and again, she has a really kind of cool voice and style and willingness to just kind of play around a lot with how the lines are delivered and whatnot. And I mean, I love that scream there at the end. It was just so tight. So and then yeah, and then the very beginning, it's got that little like music box sound. It was cool, you know, and so it's just, I guess, going back to those moments where a lot of those elements are kind of removed. It feels like some of that creativity utilized elsewhere could have been infused into those other sections as well to really make the song soar. Anywho, I know that was pretty long-winded, and I apologize, but yeah, cool song still. I like what I hear. I'm definitely going to keep following these folks to see how they continue to evolve and all that stuff. So let me know, folks, in the comments down below, what do you think of this song here? Let's talk about it. I'll catch you all next time. Ranger out.